You ever feel like you've been doing all the right things, the follow-ups, the classes, the social posts, but still wondering when it's going to click? Hey, listen, I feel you. You're not alone because I'm pulling back the curtain on the conversations that I have every single week with loan officers, and I'm going to share with you what's actually working right now. Hey, spoiler alert, it's not some trendy tactic or hack. It's the small, repeatable stuff that feels like it's not working until one day it does. So stay with me and let's get into this show. Okay, so after 20 years in sales and marketing, here's what I know to be true. Progress doesn't always feel like progress. Sometimes it looks like silence, a quiet week, a ghosted follow-up. I talk to loan officers every week who feel like they're doing the work, but not seeing the reward. But here's the truth. Those are exact moments where momentum is being built behind the scenes. We live in a world where we expect instant feedback, post a video, and we want likes. Send an email, expect replies. Show up once, and we want results. But that's not how business, and especially relationship-based business, works, and you know that. The truth is, progress often looks quiet. It looks like follow-ups with no replies. It looks like social posts with no likes. It looks like classes where only 3 people show up. And it's easy to think like this isn't working. But what if that quiet period is actually the setup? What if that realtor who hasn't replied yet is watching your stories and just waiting for the right moment? What if that lead you followed up with last month is getting closer to being ready to buy? See, that's where we build the muscle of long-term success. So who's winning right now? Well, they're not the ones doing more, right? They're the ones doing the right things more consistently than anyone else. Let me show you what that looks like. These are actual success stories from loan officers in our community that we work with every single week. Okay, so here come the wins. Win number 1, the follow-up that closed a loan. One LO followed up with a cold lead, someone who hadn't responded in over a year. And she used the follow-up script that we shared in our community to deliver simple value first. The lead replied, the conversation restarted, pre-approval happened. Guess what? This week, the deal closed. Now, that's not magic, right? That's what happens when you show up, even when it feels like no one is listening. So what's the takeaway from this? Most people follow up once or twice and then disappear. The pros, they keep showing up with value, not spam, right? That's how you earn trust in a noisy world. Win number 2, social visibility leads to referrals. Okay, so another loan officer we're working with has been consistently putting out Instagram marketing tips, home buyer education, nothing fancy. But this week, a past client DMs her, and the message is, hey, my sister's buying. Can I connect you? The deal is already in underwriting. So what's the takeaway here? Just because someone isn't liking or commenting doesn't mean they're not watching. Top of mind doesn't happen overnight. It's built with repetition. Hey, you're either consistent or you're forgettable. Okay, so here's win number 3. Teaching a class equals instant credibility. So one of our loan officers taught a class on helping buyers in today's rate environment, right? And so she had never met most of the agents who showed up for her class, but within 48 hours, 2 referrals. So again, what's the coaching moment here? Teaching isn't about perfection. It's about positioning. And when you lead with value, people remember you. When you show up and be of service versus sales, right? People are drawn to you. Teaching makes you the expert in the room, even if you feel nervous walking in. Okay, here's the final win. And you guys know this one. It's making weekly calls. So another loan officer we work with kept calling her realtor partners, even when it felt awkward, every single week. She said it felt like nobody cared. Well, guess what? This week, 2 agents sent 2 buyers. Okay. One agent said to her, hey, you're the only one who follows up consistently. What's the takeaway? The small, consistent actions create trust. It builds momentum, and trust is what leads to referrals, not charisma, not closing techniques, not doing the work only when you feel like it. So here's what I want you to know. You don't need a new strategy. You need to stick with the one that's working long enough for it to work. Let me say that again. You need to stick with the one that's working long enough for it to work. There's nothing sexy about follow-ups, classes, or conversations, but do them long enough and they'll change your business. This isn't about building a career and chasing the latest shiny object. What it means is leaning into the boring stuff even when it feels invisible. Okay, now ask yourself this question. What would your business look like if you just stayed consistent with the 3 most important habits and systems you already know that work for you? Would you get more results? I think you know the answer, because chances are you don't need more. You just need to keep doing more of what already works. Here's your final challenge. This week, I want you to pick one thing, just one, that feels boring that you've been putting off, and do it anyway. Maybe it's a follow-up email. Maybe it's inviting 3 agents to your next class. Maybe it's recording that video. Whatever it is, do it. Not for the instant result, but because you're building something bigger. See, here's the truth. Your breakthrough is hiding in the boring stuff. You're doing better than you think. Just keep going. I'm cheering you on. But before you go, I want to hear from you. What's been your biggest takeaway from this episode? What's one idea or habit you're going to apply this week in your business? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. I'd love to cheer you on and hear how this has impacted you. And hey, if this episode gave you clarity, motivation, or just a little push to keep going, do me a favor, hit subscribe, give it a like, and share it with somebody else who needs it. I appreciate you. We'll see you on the next one.